News conference from first responders is about to start right now. Let's bring up that live video of the scene there. We see that Lafayette Mayor President-elect Josh Guillory, along with the current Mayor President Joel Robideau, are there. The Fire Chief Robert Benoit, Police Chief Toby Aguillard, the Public Information Officer for the Lafayette Police Department also in attendance. They're going to be giving us the second briefing of the day. Again, if you're just joining us, there was this deadly plane crash, a small plane crash in Lafayette today. 5 people on board the plane were killed. 1 person on board was, at last check, reported to have survived that crash. We heard from witnesses who say that person was pulled from the wreckage, the burning wreckage of that plane right near the post office. That brown building that you see right behind the first responders, that is the Foufoulais post office in Lafayette. The left side of the building is where you can see there is some damage to that building. The wreckage field is all to the left. There's a wooded area to the left of the post office. That's where the wreckage, where the plane came down. And let's listen in now as the first responders prepare to give their remarks on the latest on the investigation, the local investigation. We know the federal investigators are on their way to the scene, but right there is Fire Chief Robert Benoit, who I believe is going to start us off. Let's listen in for the latest.
Robert Benoit, Fire Chief, Lafayette Fire Department, R-O-B-E-R-T, B-E-N-O-I-T. This is the second press release we're going to give you in a little bit more detail and not much more. We can tell you that, recapping what has transpired, we received a call at 9:22 a.m. this morning of a plane crash. We responded and got here at 9:30 a.m. and found the plane crashed in this particular site. We did the initial investigation of extinguishing the fire and trying to rescue individuals. Unfortunately, we have 5 individuals who are deceased as a result of the plane crash. There were 6 individuals on this small 8-passenger plane. The 6th individual is right now in the hospital being treated for their injuries. We also had 1 individual that was in a car or near a car that was impacted by the event, who's also being treated for their injuries. There were 2 other individuals in the post office who went to the hospital because of smoke inhalation. They have been treated and they're doing fine. The federal aviation agencies did their preliminary investigation where we looked at everything that transpired so far. The individuals have been removed and are being taken to the coroner's office. We have identified them. We're not going to give you that information right now because of the respect for privacy of the family until everybody is notified. We can tell you that at 9 p.m. tonight, hopefully the NTSB will be here to take over where the feds are with the investigation. It's going to be a slow process. It's going to take a while. We're asking the public to stay away from this particular area, respect the privacy of the families, and let the law enforcement and let first responders do their job. We're not going to have any more particular information for you until sometime tomorrow evening or maybe the day after, because it's going to be a slow process, making sure that we cover all the bases and find exactly what happened.
What are the conditions for those in the hospital?
They're seriously injured. Can't give you the extent of their burns, but it's life-threatening.
Can you give the ages of the people who are on board the plane?
Not going to give you that right now until we know for sure that all the family members have been contacted.
When you guys have something like this happen in our town, what's the feeling for law enforcement that's working on the scene here?
Well, for everybody, for all the first responders that are here, it's a sad thing. It's a tragic event. It hurts, because you feel for the families, and it's something that we know we're going to get through. We just have to make sure that we keep God first, in this thing. And so we just make sure that we respect everybody's privacy. One of the things that we're very concerned with is that putting out misinformation, and alarming the public unnecessarily. Prime example of that would be when you have a plane that falls out the sky, unfortunately. Is it a big plane? Is it a small plane? You have a lot of family members that fly in and out of Lafayette, and it's a concern for them. So one of the things we wanted to make sure is that we got the right information at the right time to calm the storm, so to speak, so that everybody's not panicking in something like this. The next step now is that we have to heal. But we have to get through this process. That's going to be a slow process, not only for the families and the victims, but also for the first responders.
Do y'all have any information on if the pilot made any distress calls or anything like that before the crash happened?
All that's going to come from the NTSB. You're not going to get anything from us pertaining to what happened other than what you've seen so far that we've given you. Everything else is going to come from them after the investigation has been completed. Very slow process. Not going to get any more information from that. If you get information out there, we're going to tell you right now it's not accurate.
Can you just tell us what we're seeing with the crash site? I mean, we see that part of the plane is in the field, there appears to be part of the plane in the parking lot. Can you just confirm what's out there?
What you have out there is the wreckage of the plane and some of the tree branches, a portion of the post office building, and everything else that's tied into the plane.
Sure. Is that the fuselage in the field and the tail? in
Can't
the
tell you
parking lot?
exactly what's what.
Okay.
Did the plane actually hit the building, hit the post office?
Can't give you any particulars on that.
Do you know if the plane was coming or was it?
The plane was taken off from the airport. Yes.
And at this time, do you know how many people are without power?
I think all power has been restored unless 200.
It has probably been restored by now.
Okay.
But
We had-
200 people were without power.
without
It's been
power, so
restored.
it's been restored since then.
And any timeline on when y'all are going to reopen some of the surrounding roads, or will this remain closed throughout the investigation?
Don't have any knowledge of that right now. Again, it's just a slow process. We're just asking everybody to stay away from the area.
When is the NTSB supposed to arrive?
Someone's coming, supposed to be about 9 p.m. tonight. So we're going to be out here the whole time, assisting them and making sure that they can complete their investigation.
Were you able to, have you guys recovered any video that may have captured?
Can't give you any information pertaining to the investigation. That you're going to have to wait until it's closed.
Thank you so much.
Did we get your
I'm
first
sorry.
and last name, sir?
Robert Benoit, Robert Benoit, Fire Chief. Lafayette
And
Fire
a breaking
Department.
news alert that just crossed on the Associated Press wire. I want to report to you right now. Citing family sources, the Associated Press is reporting that a Louisiana sports reporter who is the daughter-in-law of an LSU college football coach is one of 5 dead in that plane crash. The fire chief there saying that all of the victims in the crash have been identified, but they are not releasing their identities just yet. But again, the Associated Press reporting that a Louisiana sports reporter who is the daughter-in-law of an LSU college football coach is among the dead. Let's go back out to that news conference. I believe we have Mayor President Joel Robideau.
Thoughts and prayers.
And Mayor, we've heard that the people on the plane, the family, they were actually en route to the LSU game. Can you confirm that?
No, I can't confirm that. We're, that's all going to be part of the investigation. So we're not releasing any of that information at this time.
Mr. Mayor, can you confirm, was the pilot actually helped pulled out of the plane by a Good Samaritan?
You're not going to get that.
Yeah, we can't divulge any information about the rescue efforts.
Point of contact, Alton Trahan, Lafayette Fire Department Public Information Officer and investigator. He will give you all the information you need when it's time.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming.
All right, first responders wrapping up that news conference, the first of many throughout the day. The NTSB is on its way to Lafayette. Federal investigators will take over the investigation. We're expecting another news conference later tonight, perhaps around 9 o'clock. But just to recap, 5 people confirmed dead. A Louisiana sports reporter who is the daughter-in-law of an LSU college football coach is among the dead. Her name has not yet been released. We know that 3 people on the ground were injured. 2 of those injuries described as slightly, routine smoke inhalation from the explosion nearby, but 1 of the people on the ground was seriously injured. We did hear from a jewelry store, Andy's Jewelry in Lafayette, confirming that their daughter, Danielle Britt, was in a car that was hit. We are presuming that that is the more serious injury that the first responders just confirmed there. In that Facebook post, Andy's Jewelry asking the public for prayers. They have closed their shop for the rest of the day, but right now that family needs your prayers. Their daughter, we believe, was transported to New Orleans to be treated for further treatment. Let's head out to Chris Welty. He's been covering this story for us all day today. Chris is live near the scene where that news conference just wrapped up today. Chris.
Hey Jim, just to recap, the press conference just ended. We're getting the latest information on the plane crash here in Lafayette, right behind the Walmart on Pinhook Road and Verrott School Road. Now we're told that the plane went down around 9:22 this morning and emergency responders arrived around 9:30. Once again, 5 people are dead, 6 people were on the plane. The person that was pulled out of the plane is being treated at an area hospital. Now we're told that a person that was in a vehicle near where the plane went down at the post office was also injured. That person is also being treated at an area hospital, as well as 2 people that were inside the post office when the plane went down. The post office, the windows are blown out. There's char marks on the sides of the bricks right there at the post office. Now, right now, investigators, they are not releasing any details on the names of the people involved in this crash. We're told that right now they're still reaching out to family members, trying to notify everyone first before they do release those names to the public. We're told that the NTSB should be arriving around 9 o'clock this evening, and we're told that 200 people were without power earlier today after the plane crashed. Now we're told that power has been restored in the area, but once again, 200 people were without power. Now we're told that those injured have very serious injuries. We're told that they do have burns and that those injuries are life-threatening. But for now, that's the latest information we have. We're told they're not going to be releasing any specific details on the investigation into the crash and what happened. We did ask about if the pilot made any distress calls before the plane went down. Investigators saying they're not going to answer those questions. They're going to leave that to the NTSB. Once again, the NTSB should be arriving around 9 o'clock this evening. Now, as far as the roads around the crash site, we're told that those are going to remain closed. There's no timetable on when those will reopen. Live in Lafayette, Chris Welty, KATC TV3.
All right, Chris, thanks. And that's going to wrap up this special report from right here at KATC. We'll continue to follow this developing story throughout the day and have updates on air and online.